So around the summer of 2010, we closed the doors on Limelight. But I wasn't going to allow it to be a complete loss. We would learn from the mistakes in the Limelight and move on. End of production. A couple years pass. Nick Riley, the original Mill, kept asking me about the show and wanted to start it back up. Troy Rabbit, the character Jay, also expressed interest in keeping the show alive. I was skeptical though, as I thought it would have a similar end to the first round of Limelight, ending in a mess and being incomplete, which is what I wanted to avoid. I thought about it though. At this time, the format of web video hadn't really emerged yet, and even at the time of this recording, it still hasn't been finalized. There's goofy internet videos out there that don't really have a form, but the entertainment form of web video hasn't been solidified like it has been for TV, where you have a half-hour or a one-hour show, a standard format.
And now we have...
Hold everything! It's all off.
What's all off?
The hair on that man's head.
Oh, come on.
So I was thinking about this one night while watching a History of Hollywood documentary. The episode in the documentary was about Nickelodeons. Those were like the first movie theaters in the early 20th century. They would often show a small feature before the movie, called a serial, which would end with a cliffhanger. This way you would watch a small show before you'd watch the main feature, and they could drive you back the next week so that you'd see the ending of the serial, and provide you then with another cliffhanger. And at that very moment, everything seemed to click in my head. I thought I had the future of entertainment video for the web format figured out for sure. I put it together like this. People watching shows online don't want to watch things for an extended amount of time because they are sitting at their computer or laptop. They only want to be distracted for a short period of time. People watch full shows online, but those are still either movies which have been released in theaters first, or TV shows which have been put online after airing. So those in my mind aren't web videos, but different distribution methods for traditional formats of the moving pictures medium. So you might be watching a TV show online, but it's not really a web video, it's still a TV show. I was reading a bit also about the success of a TV show. I read that 2/3 of TV shows never make it to a second season.
The Francis Langford Donamici Show.
And I started to wonder about that, and how the traditional structure of revenue for TV shows work.
Well, what, if you'll pardon the vulgarity, in the very dickens is this?
To give some background, TV shows are watched by viewers who watch commercials in the middle of the shows.
Attention, ladies, please. Right now, at the end of aisle 2, I've set out a brand new, can't-miss, husband-pleasing coffee.
The companies of the commercials pay the network or the cable company money to run advertisements for their products during a show, so that the people watching can see the product and then purchase the product later. This was the old method for about 50 years.
Your coffee, sir.
Thanks, beautiful.
You're welcome.
How can such a pretty wife make such bad coffee?
I heard that.
Coca-Cola has the taste you never get tired of, always refreshing. That's why things go better with Coke after Coke after Coke.
The two walked hand in hand. The way ratings are determined for shows also is that a small sample of voluntary households are monitored for viewing habits. Based on what the sample watches, data is collected and the ratings are released. This is when I had my epiphany. Please bear with it. I thought, why not put a show online and see if the people like it? Instead of people watching ads during the show, they could pay a very small amount, like they do for music on the web, and then be done with it.
Dragnet. Brought to you by Chesterfield, America's most popular two-way cigarette.
No ads. People would choose what kind of shows they wanted to watch online. This could all be accomplished with sites like Kickstarter and Indiegogo. These sites allow people to pay for projects they want to see funded. So instead of dealing with ratings, the success of a show would be apparent in the hits and the views, and people would fund a show episode by episode. If they didn't like the show, the next episode wouldn't be funded. Furthermore, the more popular the show became, and the more people would watch it, the less people would have to pay for each subsequent episode. So let's say they pay 50 cents for the first episode in the first season, maybe the second and third season they'd pay 10 cents an episode, based on the popularity of the show. And my idea was that the shows would be made like the old serials of the old Nickelodeons. If I made every episode with a cliffhanger, then people would want to fund the next episode just to see what happens. This was my eureka moment. Everything seemed to just come together, in my mind at least. I called up Jesse and asked him if he wanted to try one more time, but to do it right this time. We would try and get a budget.